compare to. I set myself free, nothing can compare to. Yeah, you set my world free, nothing can compare to this. I found you in the VYG. You set my world free, I found you in the VYG. You set my world free, I found you in the VYG. You set my world free, nothing can compare to this. You set my world free. Yeah, I set myself free, nothing can compare to this. I set myself free. Say I will not doubt myself, and I'll believe in myself in the VYG as I level up with every move. We'll take it to another level, another level, another. We're going to another level, another level, another level, another. I've been down, down before. Felt like a whole world just was my fault. I've been trapped by what they see me for, but now I'm free, free to go. We'll take it to another level, another level, another. We're going to another level, another level, another level, another. You set my world free, nothing can compare to this. You set my world free. Yeah, I set myself free, nothing can compare to this. I set myself free. Say I will not doubt myself, and I'll believe in myself in the VYG as I level up with every move. We'll take it to another level, another level, another. We're going to another level, another level, another level, another.
Sorry, minor glitches. We are live. How you doing, fam? Hope you guys are all doing good this Wednesday afternoon. You're connected with us on the Something Extra every Wednesdays at 4 p.m. We are here to add something to your life, something extra, something that's needed, and valuable lessons to keep you going, to guide you towards your dreams and the important decisions in our lives, our vision in the VYG is to lead you guys to make decisions which tomorrow you're going to look back and live with no regrets. A decision which you're going to look forward and you're going to say, had I taken this decision or the opposite of this decision, I would have regretted. Or had I taken that decision, I would have regretted. And I will work here on a daily basis, sometimes with a little bit more of that zhuzh and that laughter and so forth, as we usually have in the Vibe O'Clock, which I'm owing you guys a full-blown Vibe O'Clock, but this Saturday I'll be fulfilling my vow with you guys. But at the end of the day, the most important is that you guys receive a lesson which will transform your life, which will lead you to look back at your decisions, at your choices, your actions, and say, wow, I got it right. And my life today is a result of the good choice which I made. There will be moments which we'll make bad decisions. We don't have to dwell in them. And today I want to talk about expensive excuses. And this is exactly what today's thumbnail is here showing to you guys. Expensive excuses. Think about the word here. Imagine excuses which are costly, excuses which after a while you will actually regret making those excuses. They are more costly than actually doing what you were meant to do initially, because you were like, no, this is the easier alternative to it. This is the alternative which I prefer, and looking at it, I'll enjoy myself more. And anything other than this, I'll probably regret. So it's an expensive excuse. It's an excuse, but an expensive one. It seems cheap at that moment. It seems profitable at that stage, but on the long run, you might just regret it. So I have a list here. Actually, I should have just put this up for you guys to be able to see. I might still be able to, whilst I speak, I might still be able to, so you guys can have a clear picture of what exactly I'm talking about, just so that we're all on the same page and that you guys don't miss out. So as I'm speaking, I'm going to just set it up here so that it's cool for you guys to be able to see and all of us be on the same page. I'll just move it here, copy it. Let me put it in two parts. Might just be, or we can do the whole thing. If it's too small, then I'm sorry, I didn't think of doing this prior, but I think it is going to be worth doing it now. Okay, it's a lot of lines here. Let's do this here. Give me just a few seconds. So think about the situations, the scenarios in your life where you felt like what you were doing, you felt like the decision you were taking was going to be one which would be really profitable for you. Okay, I think I got it right here. Where you felt like, for now, let me enjoy this. Let me indulge. Let me have fun. Let me be chilled. You know, let me enjoy a little bit. There's really no need for me to rush into anything major at this point. So then you take it easy. You go easy on it, and then on the long run, it's an expensive excuse. You made an excuse not to do what initially you were meant to do, but on the long run, it was an expensive excuse. I'm almost done here with you guys. I want to do something proper here so that you guys can be able to screenshot this. You can make a screenshot of this, whether you're watching it live or whether you guys are going to watch the recording after. It will remain live here on our platform for you guys to be able to see it. Almost done. Just want to do it well done here for you guys to take advantage of this. You know, when you're in a hurry and trying to do things here and everything goes wrong, just bear with me for a few more seconds. Why is this thing acting up? It is being such a menace. Here we go. Okay, so these are, let's say, using your money, make believe the idea has to do with utilizing your cash, utilizing your money, your priority as using your cash. And generally, we will think, I'm not spending that much. I'm not really spending that much time. It's just a little bit of cash that's being used. So if you think about it, most people will stop and look at something like, I think there's one more thing missing here. There's something missing here. Hold on. The first one is the Netflix one. I'll just add it there, and you guys will see the remainder of it. You guys will just see it being added as I'm speaking. So think about something as simple as Netflix. So you tell yourself, this is Netflix. Let me enjoy. Why not? It's Netflix. Gotta enjoy. Gotta watch. I gotta relax. And okay, there it is. It's gonna be proper now. I gotta relax. I gotta enjoy my life a little bit. I'm still young. Can't be stressing this much already. I'm too young to be stressing about a lot of things. So a Netflix subscription is $200, more or less, on a monthly basis. So there could be others. Netflix is just the example. And I'm not saying don't do it. What I'm just showing to you is the comparison of how sometimes we make excuses for certain things, but we don't notice that there are better things which we could be doing. There are certain things which we could be doing, which would be a lot more profitable, but we are so focused on the easier path of certain things that we leave out what really matters, and before we know it, we just miss out on better things. For example, imagine if you took that excuse which you use of, it's not too much, as it's written here, a Netflix subscription of $200 is not too much, but instead you could invest it on something more profitable. Instead, you could be investing it on, I don't know what. But then when you look at 200 rands, immediately what's your excuse? Your expensive excuse is, I can't afford it. Let's make it more easy to understand. Let's say you could, instead of buying or spending so much money weekly or a bit more than that on takeaway, on junk food, and then you say that's convenient, it's quicker, I don't have time. But then again, when you look at what you could cook with 500 rands, you could have a healthy meal. But then you say it's too expensive. Eating healthy is too expensive. There's your expensive excuse again. Or going out with your friends, you could spend maybe, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 500, 600. And you say, no, but at least I have fun. I need to invest in my sanity. I need to invest in my mental health. I need to go out with my friends and so forth. Okay, but the 800 rands, perhaps more or less, perhaps you could spend it on an online course and learn a new skill. I could go more in terms of sneakers. How many people? I've seen situations where a person is struggling financially, but they would have one of the most expensive sneakers. And you'd be like, my goodness, that is such an expensive brand, but the person will be wearing it. I don't even know how that person would manage with food, with rent and so forth. But that expensive excuse is, I need to have it. But then maybe starting a side hustle, the capital to start a business or something, 1.5, 1,000 rands, 2,000 rands, which maybe that person got from a once-off job or they saved up, I don't know. They say it's too risky. I might lose that cash. And I've got more. I've got a bit more to share with you guys. And probably I will elaborate a little bit more on this. Probably I will, because I think it's like a really, really interesting topic to cover. And I would love the entire VYG fam to take note of this, because oftentimes we don't take note of the things which really matter in life because we are too focused on our expensive excuses. We permit those expensive excuses to get the best of us, to have the best of us. This is the next one. This is not in terms of money, but it has to do with our time management. 3 hours of Netflix a night, it's relaxing, But 3 hours of building a skill, you say it's too tiring. That's your expensive excuse. Scrolling on TikTok or any platform, TikTok, I'm just using examples here, guys. It could be any other platform, any other thing. I'm just using examples like 3 hours of building a skill, it's too tiring. Or scrolling for TikTok for 2 hours, you're just passing time. I've been stressed. I'm just passing time. I've got a bit of time here. I'm passing time. Whereby reading a book for 30 minutes, you say you don't have time. Remember, right now, the scrolling is for 2 hours and the reading of a book is for 30 minutes. Arguing with people online, we know those keyboard warriors, not like our VBO fam. I'm talking about those who want to argue, who want to waste time on X, trying to prove a point, sometimes defending someone who doesn't even know they actually exist, instead of perhaps, for example, calling a loved one, calling someone whom you know and valuing that person, maybe inviting somebody to be with you in the VYG. Maybe that person at that moment is not keen or not possible. It's not possible for that person to be in the VYG, but perhaps to motivate that person, to encourage that person who's going through a lot. So my point here is, and I will share this with you guys. I'll elaborate it a little bit better in the near future, still this week rather. The interesting thing is how easy we find excuses for the things we don't want to do, although we need to do them, although it is essential for us to invest our money in what is important, to spend our time wisely on things and people which actually matter, to eat healthy. All of that, you will always find so many excuses for a person not to do it. An expensive excuse, because although at that moment the person is indulging, enjoying, being free to enjoy what they want, they on the long run are putting themselves in a lot of trouble. On the long run, that person is cornering himself or herself. On the long run, that takeaway which they eat almost every day, the amount of money, besides the money which is spent, money is not always the main loss, because either way money can be recovered, but the time spent or the consumption of that food which is unhealthy on the long run, that excuse will be a lot more expensive, because the amount of money you would have to spend on medical fees and medical bills, which we all know is really, really pricey nowadays. Actually, it's always been pricey, but the amount of cash you'd be spending on that, you could be investing it on something better. You could, nourish yourself. You could take care of, have a more nutritious meal, but then you don't have time to cook, or you complain that it's too expensive. Whatever it is, I want you to ask yourself, what have been your expensive excuses? What are the excuses you've been making which, on the long run, they have been quite pricey? They have really, 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 the bill, perhaps the bill has not yet arrived, but that bill is going to be a hell of a pricey bill. You know that when that bill arrives, you have a lot to pay for. You have a lot to deal with. So this is why I say the work of the VYG is to help you guys reason, is to help you guys think about what you are doing right now and what that can affect you in the morrows. So all the list of things, the time, besides the cash and the time which is spent on something like Netflix, which you could be investing on something else, but you say you can't afford, a takeaway meal, which perhaps you could save that cash or buy something which is healthier, you say it's too pricey, it's more convenient, and so forth. Or maybe just doesn't taste as good. Really it doesn't, but it's an expensive excuse on the long run later on when, like I said, your medical bill kicks in because you've grown sick for not having a nutritious meal. Going out with your friends, nothing wrong with none of these things. There's nothing wrong with these things. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do them. What I'm saying is get your priorities straight. Ensure that your priorities are straight. So the 200 rands which you could be spending on Netflix, maybe you could invest it in something which will be profitable on the long run. Or going out with your friends, the amount of money you're spending, perhaps you could be doing a course. You're still far, really far from that dream you have, but you're so focused on investing on things which aren't profitable. The same thing goes with time. Time and money, they work they work, together. They're almost integrated, but time being a lot more valuable because money you can lose and have it back. Time is not lost. So 3 hours of Netflix a night, it's just a couple of hours of me binging. I'm relaxing. I need to relax. I'm stressed. Sure, you may even be stressed, but just remember that the time you could have spent, maybe you could reduce that time and divide it with team building. Oh, excuse me, building a skill. The scrolling which you take time with on TikTok, on the gram, or whatever, you could be spending it on reading a book which will teach you a skill as well, teach you something new, make you think like a winner, help you invest, help you develop yourself more and more and more. Arguing online, spending time online with unprofitable things. Perhaps you could be spending that time with people who really need you at that moment, or calling a loved one. There are so many different ways in which you can use your time, use your money, invest in yourself first. Invest in your personal well-being, and the well-being, not using expensive excuses like, oh, I was binging because I need to have. I repeat, fam, none of these things are wrong to do. If you are spending cash on Netflix, I have Netflix and other subscriptions which I have, which I'm not saying there's something wrong. What I'm saying is, first, you need to get your priorities right. First, you need to figure out what truly matters. What do I have to cover before I reach that point? So I'm going to spend my time doing this, but have I already resolved the other matters in my life which are still pending? Have I resolved the things which are being demanded of me, are missing from me? Have I dealt with that? Or are you being led by expensive excuses which right now you indulge, you enjoy, but in the near future you might just regret? Fam, think about this. This is what I wanted to share with you guys, and I will get into a little bit of I'll elaborate this probably this Saturday in the Vibe O'Clock. I want to elaborate the subject a little bit more, but I want you guys to think about it. What have been your expensive excuses? What have been the things which you have permitted yourself to be misled by? You've been the kind of person like, nah, it's okay. I'm just, and you are trying to move away from the things which actually matter. And the sad part is that sometimes we postpone over and over and over again, and the harder it is for us to accomplish and achieve the things we really need to. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Take this link, take this video, share it with others, share it with those who might be people who are a living endorsement of what we call an expensive excuse. Right now you're indulging, but in the near future you might regret because it's not worth it. All right. So this coming Saturday at 7 p.m. we're going to be together here in the Vibe O'Clock. And on Sunday, all the fam in Gauteng, we're going to be down at the grounds, and we're going to be announcing a huge competition. You remember the ladies who went with us to Brazil, to the Temple of Solomon? There'll be a couple of youth who will be going very soon, very soon, but we are going to talk about it. This coming Sunday, all roads lead to the grounds, wherever you are. If you are with the fam in the Val, if you're at the fam in Pretoria, you're more than welcome to come and join us at the grounds, 24456 Imink Drive in Soweto, Diepkloof Zone 6, just close to the Baragwanath Hospital. Although most of you have an idea where the grounds is, but if you don't, you can DM us and we'll make a way to help you be guided. And obviously our mentors and coordinators will be more than glad to receive you. So here in Joburg, there'll be no hangout in any of the other branches except at the grounds, or as our Xhosa fam usually say, apaka. So it'll be only at the grounds, and I hope to see you guys there dressed in your traditional attire, merged with your VYGT. It's going to look beautiful. We're going to take some awesome pictures, and I look forward to seeing you guys. All right? See you on Saturday in the Vibe O'Clock, and see you physically on Sunday at the grounds. Got it? Fam, we're out of here, and don't forget, there ain't no stopping us. There ain't no stopping you. Stop making expensive excuses. We're out of here.
my savior or just for my flesh? What will I do in the moment that everything falls? I'm gonna stand in a world that's breaking, stand for a truth unchanging. I'm not ashamed of consider the cost. I'll stay right here at the foot of the cross and they can call me a fool or stubborn for following you, for trusting without any proof. But I've seen you here through it all. So what kind of person do I wanna be? Am I committed to you or committed to me? What will I choose the second that everything falls? I'm gonna stand in a world that's breaking, stand for a truth unchanging. I'm not ashamed of consider the cost. I'll stay right here at the foot of the cross and stand. I'm not ashamed of consider the cost. I'll stay right here at the foot of the cross and stand. Stand up for the one who gave everything. Stand up because you deserve all of me. Not gonna give up, not gonna give in now. Stand up for the one who gave everything. Stand up because you deserve all of me. Not gonna give up, not gonna give in now. Oh, and if it takes all I am.